Hey guys, and welcome to the Chroma side of YouTube. So, let's talk. This is a pour that I did a couple weeks ago. You guys watched me do it. I did it with my blow dryer, and honestly, I don't like how muddy the colors became because there was too much air going on with the blow dryer. Excuse me. That being said, I've decided that I'm going to use this canvas again. I'm going to pour over this pour, and what I'm going to do is I am going to use all of the leftover paints from last week. Now, I'm doing this for a reason. The Bray Reese paints that I have left over from last week, the Winsor & Newton paints that I have left over from last week, and the one Artist Loft paint that I have left over from last week. I want to see what happens if I mix all the brands. Now, I was gonna attempt another colander pour on here, but honestly, I don't know how well that's gonna go. I mean, I could. But I'm thinking I might just go flip cup because I want to see what these paints do in flip cup. I have not opened these. I want to open them on camera for a couple of reasons. Number one, what do you do with paint that you have left over and you can't get to right away? I typically just cap them and use them a week later. Now, doing this with Artist Loft, there's no problem. I know that Artist Loft will keep for a week. All I have to do is mix. If it's gotten thick, just add a little bit of water to the colors and keep it moving. But I want to see, did these paints get so thick that I do have to add a lot of water to them? I also want to see how they react. Now this one, I know it's fine. You can even see when I wiggle the container, it's fine. I want to see if they went lumpy on me. I want to see what happens when you have these leftover paints. Secondly, I want to see what happens when I do a dirty cup and flip them all with these different brands in there. So I'm just going to move these out of the way. I'm going to open this up. Oh, see, look at that. The paint around the edges dried. So this was interesting to see. Look at there. That paint dried and made a gobby. So I'm going to have to be careful when I look at these paints. I'm going to have to be careful. Well, they seem okay. They're not very thick. Let's see how this one goes. Oh, that one came off clean. I can see where the silicone that I added to it floated to the top, so that's interesting. Let's see about this Winsor & Newton. That one looks fine. Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to be able to use these straight away because the consistencies in them are pretty cool. Now, I think I'm going to go with, instead of doing the colander pour, I really am going to go with the dirty flip cup. It's going to be interesting because there's so many different colors. But let's see how it works out. So I labeled all of these. Some of these have silicone, some don't, which I'm okay with. And I'm just gonna that one's gonna need some, and I think the one I just opened is gonna need some water. This one, they need water because they thickened up quite a bit. That one's good. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of water to these. Much better. Okay. All right, let's grab a cup. This is just a cup that's been sitting on my station here for a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I'm just going to start adding colors in. Simply because, why not? Let's just do this. No rhyme or reason. I like what's going on in the cup. I'm not going to scrape these cups out. I know normally I do, but I'm not doing that for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't want the dried paint that's left over on the cups in my painting. And I don't want any of that chunkies in there. So I won't be scraping these cups, and normally I'm all about scrape all the cup paint you can out of these cups. I'm pouring from fairly up high, making it drip down in there. I didn't add any silicone to the paints that said that there was no silicone to them, because I figured there is enough silicone in all of this paint to have effects that we want. Alright, so now I'm going to move all these cups and things out of the way. And I'm actually going to pick up my canvas and sit it down on the cup. And I'm going to flip it. And let that run down for a second. Move my phone out of the way. You guys still in frame. And let's see what happens. And now I'm going to slowly tilt. So because of the way I tilted it, my design did go a bit zigzaggy, but with the coloring, I'm not too upset with it, if that makes any kind of sense. I'm just helping along the sides, making sure that they are in fact getting covered. I kind of wish that I knew for sure that this paint would sell after I torch it. But with the Bray Reese, remember, it didn't really sell that well. With the torch, it kind of just stayed the way it was, which that's okay too. So let me wipe off my hands with my paint rag. That's thoroughly sticking on itself now. And I'm going to torch it. Let's see what happens when I torch it though. Not my favorite pour. What can we do to make this pour better? Let's see if the ribbons torch. Nope. So, with that being said, I think that brand has a lot to do if you can't get sales. Just saying. Because, let's face it, the brand dictated if I were getting sales or not. So, what am I going to do to make this pour something that I like? Let's see about that. I think what I'm going to do is, I'm not really going to go for cells in what I'm about to do. Uh-oh. Hold on, guys. Just a telemarketer. I think what I'm going to do is, all right, this is what I'm going to do. Now that I have Now that I have the canvas covered, I'm going to squirt paint everywhere. I'm going to quickly mix up, and because I'm quickly doing it, I'm going to take my Vallejo pouring medium, the really liquidy, watery kind. I'm going to quickly mix up some paint to a flow consistency, and I'm going to put it through the colander. Why not? Now everything is super experimental right now. So I'm taking my Blacrylic metallic copper, and I'm mixing in my Vallejo pouring medium. Which makes it a really good pour consistency. And I actually have two different cups because the first thing I grabbed was my 1 ounce cup, so I just grabbed a whole bunch of them. So there's that. And I have this neon green by Artist Loft Flow Acrylics. So I'm just mixing this up real fast. And I'll either cut this out or I'll fast forward it. Ooh, that's cool looking. That's really cool looking too. Now I want to do some more. So let's do some more. Why not? I mean, at this point, there's nothing else we could do to mess up this canvas. This is what it's about, you know, you guys. Like, when you do something that you're not liking, just keep playing with it. I love that. Not a big fan of that, but it's done. What's done is done. So I'm cheating a little bit. I'm just using my Vallejo pouring medium. I'm not using any water because I just don't want to waste the time to like add a little bit, add a little bit, add a little bit while I'm mixing. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using Vallejo pouring medium because it's super soupy. And I am going to use the same sticks I just used. And I'm just adding it in and getting a good flow consistency. I'm not aiming for cells because there's already so much going on in this background. I'm also not using a measuring cup or a system or anything. I'm just pouring paint and medium into the cup and just kind of taking it from there. I can see it pushing out here, so I'm going to let it sit and do its thing for a minute until I can't see it moving anymore, which I think that's good. I think I could use one more right there. And I can see it pushing out, which is great. While that's happening, I can go ahead and torch the air bubbles out of this one. And I see a few other air bubbles coming up on this one. Ooh, look at that one. Oh, yes. I actually like that. It's like, it goes in a circle. This one's very prominent. This one has a little bit of prominence. This one has a little bit, and then this one goes muddy. So it's almost like it's going. I like it. All right. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. I like this. Now what I want to do, I really like that one. I'm just giving it a few seconds, and you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to drop it. Ooh. That made it fun. And what that does also is it knocks the air bubbles up to the surface so that I can torch it. Alrighty guys, let me bring you down and give you guys a closer look. So I do have some effects, some cells going on in this painting. You can see some of that pinking through. You can see the ribbons. There is the first flower, and all of the petals are visible. I like that. Then here is the second flower where some of the petals are visible. Then we move over into the orange valley where only part of the petals are visible, and it's like a half and half green, half brown flower. And then we are over here to the third flower, which, let's face it, it's kind of in the background. It just kind of, none of the petals are visible. Now you could tell I did this one first, this one second, this one third, and this one fourth, because you can see how they got better and better with practice. So that's something to keep in mind. But overall, I think this is kind of a cool painting. It's very abstract. It looks very flowers are in your face in the middle of a very big meadow. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys like what you see here. If you like what I do, please give me a thumbs up for a like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications whenever I put up new videos. And if you ever want to get in contact with me, please feel free to hit me up at chromastormarts@gmail.com. Have a wonderful afternoon. You guys rock. Bye-bye, y'all.